Yes, good morning once again. Yes, welcome to our class, General Physics 2. Okay, I'm Sir PG Pasong, will be your lecturer for the second semester in our subject about General Physics 2. Okay, so for this week, we were going to discuss about the electric charge. So ano bang meron sa electric charge na to, no? So alamin natin kung bakit or paano yun nagpo-form and what are the processes itself, kung paano siya gumagana. So in our Earth atmosphere, it is full of electrical charges. Alam naman natin yun, no? Then the consequences thereof is the presence of the so-called electric fields. Ayan, some physical phenomena that prove the presence of electric fields in the atmosphere, such as the lightning, ayan, kung nakakita na kayo ng kidlat, and the thunderstorms, and they need a electric charge, okay, para ma-create yung mga ganyang phenomena. And even the scenic aurora borealis. Alam naman natin yung aurora borealis, no? Or the northern lights. Ayan. So, imagining this electric field is next to impossible, sabi nga dito. So, according to a renowned Nobel Prize physicist na si Richard Feynman, it is even easier to imagine a room filled with angels than a room filled with electric fields. So, yan. So, parang ano na. So parang sinasabi niya na mas maganda daw mag-imagine ng room na maraming angels than the room na nag-imagine ka ng maraming filled with electric fields. So, ang hirap daw nun. Parang napaka-komplikado na siya tingnan. So, just like siguro sa ating nakikita niyo ba yung ating background and sa ating design. So, just like that is an electric field, something like that. And so, ano bang meron din sa electric field na yan at bakit sila nakikreate? Through the electric charge. Okay, so before we start, I'm going to share to you what are the lessons or the topic that we're going to learn from this module. Okay, this is the continuation of General Physics 1 so far. So I hope clear na yung ibang ibang lesson sa inyo ng General Physics 1. So it's a continuation. It's a level up part of the physics. Okay. So first one, we're going to describe using a diagram, charging by rubbing and charging by induction. So meron tayong different types of charging. Later, i-discuss din natin yan. Then number two, we're going to explain the role of electron transfer in electrostatic charging by rubbing. Okay. Then describe the experiments to show electrostatic charging by induction. So basically, yun yung mga kadalasan na alam nating mga different charging processes meron sa ating electric charge. So ano ba yung electric charge na to? So ayan. So kung napapansin natin, so electric charge, so according to the ancient Greeks, they discovered as early as 600 BC, okay, before Christ, that after you rub amber with the wool, the amber could attract other objects. So ano ba tong amber na to? Itong amber na to, guys, it is a hardened, translucent, yellowish tree resin. So kung nakakita na kayo ng ito, yung iba ngayon ginagamit na siyang jewelry. Oo, itong amber na to. So yan yung parang minsan lalagyan nila ng yung parang pwedeng maglagyan nila dun sa loob ng mga insect, oo, yung mga gano'n. So, ginagawa na siyang jewelry ngayon. Okay. So, yun ba yung unang napansin nila during that time, okay, 600 BC. Okay, na nung nirub daw nila tong amber na to, okay, yung amber na yan sa isang wool, so, the amber could attract other objects. So, napansin nila na nung nilapit nila tong amber sa other objects, so, na-attract, okay, yung ano, yung mga object na nilalapit na dun sa amber. So, yun dun nagsimula kung bakit nila nagkaroon ng idea about the attraction forces. Okay. Today, we say that the amber has acquired a net electric charge or has become charged, basically. So, ibig sabihin, nagkaka-attract siya ng charge o nakaka-acquire at the same time. And then, nagiging charge siya. Ibig sabihin, chargeable. Parang ganun yung ating amber today. Okay? So, the word electric, okay, it is derived from the Greek word electron, okay, meaning amber.
Okay, doon na pinanggaling yung ano 'no, salitang electric amber. So, ibig sabihin yung amber na 'to, itong ginagamit ngayon nating ano 'no, parang natuyo ano yan, eh, dagta ng isang puno o tumigas. Yung iba mga translucent yan, eh. Okay, so dun nanggaling yung salitang ano, electric. Okay, so it's a Greek word, electron, meaning daw ay amber. Okay, when you scuff your shoes across a nylon carpet, you become electrically charged, and you can charge a comb by passing it through dry hair. So ito may mga example tayong ano no, na not only with the amber na nagkakaroon ng charge, but also with the other things. Kagaya daw ditong ano natin, no? Sapatos natin, pag scuff natin to sa nylon carpet, you become electrically charged. Okay? Then, have you tried then or experienced na ano, bigla kang humawak sa ano, doorknob? Okay, di ba minsan nagkakaroon ng ground, nagkakaroon ka ng ground, nag-ground ka. So, nagkakaroon din ng electrically charged doon. Okay, yun yung mga basic example. Then aside from that, ito famous na, no? Nagtataka tayo na bakit minsan after we comb our hair, pag dry yung hair natin. So, pag ilalayo natin yung hair, have you tried, ay yung comb? So, pag nilalayo natin, lumalapit itong ating, no? Yung dry hair natin. So, this is also an example of, ano, charge. Nag-charge kasi yung comb, no? Habang sinusuklay natin siya. Pag ilalayo natin siya, ma-attract ngayon dun yung ating, ano, dry hair. Aside from that, kahit mismong ano lang, pag-upo mo sa mga ano 'no, sa ating mga upuan, napapansin niyo yan minsan na 'pag minsan may kumikilitin na ano sa atin sa balahibo, yun pala na-attract yung ating ano, ang ating balahibo doon sa upuan. May mga gano'ng pagkakataon na tumatayo siya, okey? So, basically yan yung mga example na nangyayari talaga na nakikita natin, observable naman sa ano na, sa environment, which is have na ano, application na marami. Okay? So, next. So, here we have what is this? Okay, a diagram or a figure of interaction between the plastic rods and rub on fur. Okay, so balahibo. Okay, so basically yan mapapansin natin dito. So, meron daw tayo ditong plain plastic rods, neither attract nor repel each other. So, nung trinay daw nila, walang nangyayari. Okay? Kasi they are, ano, wala pang nangyayari. So, hindi na alam kung nagre-repel siya or nag-attract. Then sa pangalawa, okay, but after being rubbed with the fur, the rods repel each other. So, after nyan, tapos nirub natin daw sa fur, ayan, so parang ano, yung parang mabuhok na ano, no, na tela. So, parang ganun. So, nung nirub na nila daw tong plastic rod na to, what happened? So, ang nangyari ay, based on the figure, so after rubbing the fur with fear, okay, the rods repel each other. So, ano nangyari? Okay, naging charge na yung ating, ano, nagkaroon ng charge yung ating plastic rods. Okay? So, anong maliwanag dyan? So, the plastic rods and the fur, real or fake, even real or fake yan na fur, so, are particularly good for demonstrating electrostatics. So, ano ba itong electrostatic na to? So, electrostatic is the study of all phenomena associated with electric charges at rest. Ibig sabihin, pag at rest yung pinanggalingan ng ating electric charge, and then they're associated with this different electric charges, it means electrostatics. Okay, yun ibig sabihin ng electrostatic natin. So, the interaction between the electric charges ayan, at rest are nearly so. After we charge both plastic rods by rubbing them with a piece of fur, we find that the rods repel each other. So, parang ano yan, kung pwede nyo i-try yan, kung meron kayong mga ano dyan, plastic rods, no? So, at least you can experience that, no? Real life, o parang totoo talaga na nangyari siya. You can try that. Okay, so makikita natin na magre-repel yung plastic rods na yan. Ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ng charge after rubbing. Okay, so ano bang meron dun sa rubbing na yon? Okay, so another figure, okay, letter B, we have the interaction between the glass rods rub on silk. Okay, so ito naman. So plain glass rods neither attract nor repel each other. So wala pa ding tong ano, so walang nangyari nung pinagdikit nila tong glass rods. So after rubbing, okay, the glass rod into a silk, So the rods repel each other. So ano naman nangyari? So nung nirub naman ito ngayon si glass rod sa ating silk, o ito naman panibagong ano no, panibagong medium na ginamit para mag-charge yung isang material. So nung charge daw niya ang ating glass rod sa ating silk, so nagkaroon ng repel or nagkaroon ng repulsion between the two rods, or between the two glass rods. So, nagkaroon ulit ngayon ng charge. So, ano nangyari during that time? So, when we rub glass rods with silk, the glass rods also become charged and repel each other. So, ibig sabihin nung, okay, nagkaroon na ng charge. So, at this point, kung kanina is negative, ngayon nagkaroon sila ng both is positive. Okay, naging positively charged. So, sabi nga, di ba, later, didiscuss natin kung anong loss meron dyan. Ba't sila nagro-repel? Okay? So, then letter C, we have the interaction between the object with the opposite charges. So, ito naman. So, the fur rub plastic rod and the silk rub plastic rod attract each other. So, napansin natin, kanina yung unang scenario na ni-rub natin yung ating plastic rod sa ating fur, okay, nagkaroon yun ng, nagkaroon ng negatively charged yung ating plastic rod, while the glass rod na ating ni-rub on the silk, so nagkaroon siya ng positively charged. Then ano nangyari? Kung pinagsama natin yung dalawang rod na yan, so ano nangyari? They attract each other. Okay? So dahil positive and negative. So and the fur and the silk each attract the rod if rub. So ibig sabihin kung i-exchange natin, so kung yung fur and silk natin. So, pag ilalapit ulit natin yan sa ating ano, pag pinagpalit natin yung negative kanina, ilalagay natin dun sa yung negative plus red natin, itatapat natin dun sa silk, mag-a-attract din sila. At the same time, yung ating glass rod, pag itatapat sa ating fur, okay, magkakaroon din sila ng attraction. So, paano nangyari yung mga ganitong bagay? Okay, but a charged plastic rod attracts a charged glass rod. Furthermore, the plastic rod and the fur attract each other, and the glass rod and the silk attract each other. Okay, so these experiments and many other like them have shown that there are exactly two kinds of electric charge. Okay, so dahil doon sa mga nangyaring ganyang pagkakataon or experiment, so na-discover na meron tayong two kinds of electric charge. So the kind on the plastic rod rub with the fur, and the kind of the glass rod rub with the silk. So yun na-discover na, yun yung unang experiment. So, kasi hindi pa naman kasi nila alam no kung anong tawag doon. Later on na lang naman na-discover kung ano talagang pangalan meron doon sa charge na yon. So basically, yung ginawa lang nila for the initial, okay, for the initial record. So ang tawag lang nila sa two kinds of electric charge na yon is yung plastic rod daw na i-rub with the fur, and the glass rod na i-rub sa silk. So yun yung pananguna. Then in 1706, ito no, to 1719, no, we have Benjamin Franklin. He suggested calling these two kinds of charge negative and positive. Okay. So, pagdating lang ni Benjamin Franklin, dun lang napangalanan tong dalawang kinds of electric charge as negative and positive, kung saan kilala natin siya ngayon. Okay. Na kung saan ginagamit natin siya ngayon, term for the science. Okay. So, dun lang nagkaroon respectively. And these names are still used. Hanggang ngayon, ginagamit natin siya. And the plastic rod and the silk have negative charge. Ayun na nga. So, nabigyan na ngayon ng illustration na meron palang negative charge yung plastic rod kanina and the silk. Okay? Then, ay, then the glass rod and the fur have a positive charge. So, basically, napangalanan na na-identify na nila. Kasi parang ba, pangit naman na sabihin na two kinds of electric charge, plastic rod rubbed with the fur. So, basically, parang pinaiksi nila. At the same time, naging mas common siya yung ginamit nilang term. Okay, negative charge and the positive charge. So, ayun na yung nangyari. So, sabi dito, the two positive charge or the two negative charge repel each other, and a positive charge and a negative charge attract each other. So, basically, ayun pala yung una nilang na naisip na mangyayari or ipapangalan or parang explanation regarding the experiment na ginawa nila. Okay? So, next, proceed tayo.
Okay, so at this point, meron dito ipapakita sa inyo application. Okay? Application ng ating charge. Okay, basically ito, basic, karamihan gumagamit ito ngayon, no? Common to ngayon, lalo na sa mga school. Lalo na pag nasa modular kayo, gumagamit sila nito basically para ma-print yung inyong mga modular, ay yung mga module natin. Okay. So, meron tayo dito ito, yung process kung paano napapakita yung ano, yung charge. Okay, the electric charges in printing. Okay, in printing printing a paper or some photos. Okay? So basically, meron tayong step dito. One, ito, nakita natin yung one, wire sprays ions and drum, giving the drum a positive charge. So, ibig sabihin ito, ang pinakatawag natin dito is a drum. Ito is a rotating imaging drum. So, dyan, ito yung umiikot para mag-create ng isang image. Okay? Yung isang printer. Okay, so meron daw siya ditong ions na may wire siya na nag-i-spray ng positive charge. Okay, itong part na to. Then, so syempre dahil rotating imaging drum yan, anong mangyayari? And then number two, meron dito sa taas, di ba papansin nyo, pag nagpiprint, may umiilaw, o kaya kahit nagpa-photocopy lang, kahit photocopy, meron din ganyan. So may umiilaw. So ang tawag doon ay the laser beam. So writes on the drum, leaving negative charge areas where the image will be. So, ibig sabihin, kung itong nasa part na to, yung wire na to nag-spray ng positive charge, ito naman yung laser beam naman, no, yung ilaw, pag nagpiprint tayo or nagpo-photocopy, yan naglalabas din naman siya ng negative charge. Therefore, okay, iikot to ngayon yung ating drum na merong daladalang positive and negative charge. Okay. So at this point, so number 3, roller applies positively charged toner to drum. Toner adheres only to negative charge areas of the drum written by the laser. So ibig sabihin, meron tayo tinatawag ditong roller. Okay, roller yan. Or the toner. So yung toner na to, yung parang ito yung nagbibigay ng kulay no doon sa pinanggagalingan ng color ng ating printer. Okay. So si toner daw ay naglalagay siya ng positively charge. Okay, naglalabas siya ng positively charge. So nagro-rotate din 'yan. So basically ano mangyayari? Okay? So pag dumaan ngayon dito ang ating negative and positively charge, ang mangyayari dito, so the toner daw ay naglalabas ng positively charged. So basically, ano mangyayari sa ating mga negative? So the positively charged toner drum adheres the negatively charged areas of the drum written by the laser. So ano mangyayari? So we're going to have, ayan, mas marami na ngayon ng negative. Okay? Nalalabas. Bakit marami ng negative nalalabas? So the positively charged tone, yan. So the laser printer, and ito yung pinaka-discussion niya, is utilizes the forces between the charge body. The printer's light-sensitive imaging drum is given a positive charge. As a drum rotates, ito na, a laser beam shines on a selected areas of the drum, leaving those area with a negative charge. And positively charged particle of toner adhere on to the areas of the drum written. Okay? Next, by the laser. When a piece of paper is placed in the contact with the drum, the toner particles stick to the paper and form an image. So, ganito nangyayari sa loob ng printer. So, alala lang natin na basta-basta ganun ang nangyayari. So, it it needs a cycle. Parang may process pa palang nangyayari dyan sa loob ng printer bago nyo na copy yung image na ipiprint natin. So, basically, so ano nangyayari ulit dito? So, positive, tapos nagkaroon ng negative, then the toner is positive. Ayan. Then, habang nagro-roll yan, magro-roll din tong ating rotating imaging drum. So, napapansin natin. So, yung positive is madadala siya na nasa labas. Then, nagkakaroon na siya ng partner. Okay, nagpa-partner na siya, nagkakaroon na siya ng pairing. Okay, kasi di ba ma-attract tong ating So, sa positive part, walang ma-attract dito kasi positive to, right? So, repulsion yon kasi both they are like charge. Ibig sabihin, pag dumaan tong mga negative na nilalabas ng ating laser beam, ano mangyayari? Itong mga positive na nilalabas ng toner, ma-attract ngayon dito sa mga negative kasi they are
pag opposite charges, they attract. That's why pagdating natin dito, napapansin natin, ayan, meron na tayong partner si negative, positive, negative, positive, kasi nag-attract pag opposite charge. Pero yung positive, wala, syempre, kasi repulsion yan pagdating dito kay toner. So, habang bumababa siya, din pag naglagay tayo ngayon, pagdadaan na to ngayon, syempre, papasok yung papel. Okay, syempre, dito sa part na to, meron dang wire na nag-spray ng stronger negative charge on a paper. So, toner will be adhered to it. So, ibig sabihin yung papel pag ilalagay natin dito, din sa ilalim daw ng ating paper, lagay ng paper natin sa printer, naglalabas ng strong negative, mas malakas na negative charge compare nan dito sa ating laser. So, ibig sabihin, okay? So, ibig sabihin yung block dito na nakopya, dala-dala nila to. Ibig sabihin, inipit ngayon ng negative at positive charge. Dala-dala nila hanggang pagbaba. Ngayon, ang tanong, nadala-dala na nila to. For example, yan yung image, no, na nadala nila from the toner. So, naipit nila yan kasi nga meron tayong negative at meron tayong positive dyan. So, naipit nila yan, nadala nila hanggang baba. Then, pagdating dito sa part na to, okay, meron tayo dito na tawag itong wire ulit na nag-i-spray ng negative charge. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas, stronger negative charge to. Ibig sabihin, talo niya yung negative na nandito sa loob, na galing sa laser beam kanina. Okay, so therefore, kung strong negative dito sa ilalim, tas napagitnaan siya ngayon ng papel, anong mangyayari dito sa mga nasa positive? Ibig sabihin, mas ma-attract ngayon sila dito sa negative na nasa baba. So, ibig sabihin, mababaliwala ngayon tong nasa loob natin or yung naunang negative kasi syempre, mas hahatakin ng negative to. Okay? Nasa ilam. Therefore, yung dala-dala niya ngayong toner or yung image, okay, didikit ngayon na dito sa papel, which is iipit mo naman dyan sa papel ngayon. So, iipit siya ngayon dito, ibig sabihin, doon na na-form yung image natin. Okay? Or yung text na piniprint. Okay? So, ganun yung process pala no, sa printer. So, akala natin ganun lang ka-basic mag-print, pero it involves the electric charges, kung paano gumagana yung electric charge natin dun sa loob. So, ayan, so, dahil mas na-attract siya ngayon dito kasi stronger negative charge to, therefore, yung positive dito na dala-dala na together with the toner or yung image na gusto nating i-print, so malilipat ngayon dito sa papel, didikit siya ngayon. Okay? So, ano mangyayari? So, mapiprint na yan. So, ayun na yung mangyayari, mapiprint na. Ayun na yung maging result, yung image natin. So, then, next, ano mangyayari naman dito sa rotating image drum natin? So, pagdating sa 5, fusor rollers, heat paper to toner remains permanently attached. Pagdating dito, so parang may dadaan pa ulit yan. Kung titingnan nyo yung printer, no, parang dadaan ulit yan sa isang another fusor daw or roller kung saan, meron siyang init. Di ba napapansin natin na paglabas ng isang papel doon sa printer machine, mainit siya. Okay, yun yung ginatawag na, ayan, fusor rulers, na iniinit niya yung papel para daw yung toner, manatili na nandun, na-attach sa ating paper. Kaya napiprint na. Okay? Then, ano mangyayari dito ngayon? Sa rotating image drum naman natin. So aakyat ngayon to. Excuse me. Okay? So, the lamp discharged the drum, ready to start the process over. So, meron ulit dito daw lamp kung saan, i-restart niya. Okay? Okay? I-restart or i-discharge niya. Ibig sabihin, kukunin niya lahat ng mga negative. Okay? Sa part na to, ibig sabihin, pag dumaan ulit dito, yung rolling, rotating imaging drum natin, pag daan niya dito sa part na to, okay, meron ditong lamp na magdi-discharge ng drum. Ibig sabihin, i-discharge ulit niya yung drum. So, ibig sabihin, mawawala ulit ng charge tong part na to. Kasi i-discharge niya. Ibig sabihin, mawawala. So, babalik ulit siya dito sa taas kung saan, babalik ulit sa step 1 kung saan maglalabas ulit na o mag-spray ng positive charge itong ating wire dito sa taas. Then, another laser ulit. Tapos, the same process. So, ganun nangyayari yung proseso sa ating printing machine. Kaya nagkakaroon ng image. Okay? So, it involves electric charge. So, ganun ka, di ba, na-explain in science kung paano ng proseso. No? Ganun sila kagaling na naisip nila yun or na-observe nila yun through experiment. Okay? So, I hope it is clear, no? Kung paano na napiprint yung mga image or kahit text sa ating mga printing machine. Okay, so move on. So electric charge and the structure of matter. So ano ba yung mga composition nito? Ano ba meron dito sa ating matter, no? Ba't nagkakaroon ng electric charge? So to understand the electrostatics, so the structure of atom must be first be understood. So basically dapat alam na natin 'to, no? Kasi you're in general physics 2. So that na understood na natin kung anong meron sa atoms. So what is atoms again? Yan, atoms is, or an atom is made of subatomic particles. So ano to ba itong mga subatomic particles na to? Yan. So we have three particles meron ng ating atoms. Basically, the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons. So pagdating dito, so the negative charge, we call it as an electron. So napangalanan na yan. May mga scientists na nagsabi niyan. So I think it's, ano, James Chadwick. Parang si James Chadwick for the negative charge electron, and the positive charge proton, although si J.J. Thompson, no, if I'm not mistaken, no, comment nyo na lang kung sino baka nag-interchange. And the uncharged is what we call the neutrons. Okay? Si neutrons naman yung naka ano nito. Si neutrons, maybe it was discovered by Eugene Goldstein, I think. Parang ganon. Si James Chadwick, si J.D. Thomson, and Eugene Goldstein. Ngayon ba silang tatlong scientists naka-discover ng term na yan. So sila nag-coin ng term na yan. Kung bakit naging electron, naging protons, and neutrons. Okay. So ano tong mga charge na to? So yun na nga, si electron, negative natin. Si positive is the proton, and the uncharged is si neutron. The proton and neutron are combinations of other entities called quarks. So, akala kasi natin na si atoms na yung pinakamaliit. So, pero meron pa pala. Kasi si atoms is made of protons, electrons, and neutrons. Pero tong protons and neutrons daw, combination pa ng another entities. Kung saan mas maliit pa. Kung maliit na tong protons and neutrons, may mas maliit pa. Pinanggalingan. Okay, which is we call this at the quarks. Okay, quarks, which have charges of positive negative 1/3 and positive negative 2/3 times the electron charge. So, ganun pala siya kaliit, no? Yung charge niya is, ayan, 1/3 and 2/3 lang. Okay? Times the electron charge. So, basically, mas maliit pa siya sa tatlo. Then, isolated quarks have not been observed. Okay, hindi sila na-observe basically. Kasi masyadong maliliit na yon. Kasi nga, di ba, kung si atom pa lang is ang hirap na tingnan ng ating naked eye, how much more itong quarks. Okay? And there are a theoretical reason to believe that it is impossible in the principle to observe a quark in isolation. So, mayroon daw nangyaring principle na napaka imposibleng ma-observe yung quarks pag naka-isolate siya. Okay? Kasi sobrang liit na yun, guys. Napaka-minute na yun na particle. Okay? The protons and neutrons in an atom make up a small, very dense core called the nucleus. So which dimension of the order of 10 to 15 meters surrounding the nucleus are the electrons, extending out to distances of the order of 10 to 10 meters from the nucleus. So, ibig sabihin dito, nakita natin yung atomic model. So, ang pinakaloob nun, guys, is anong nagkasama doon? Si protons and neutrons. So, kung protons nandun, sir, bakit hindi yun naghiwa-hiwalay? Kung protons lahat yun, di ba? Repulsion dapat. So, bakit sila hindi naghihiwalay doon? Dahil may kasama silang neutrons. Ano ba yung purpose ng neutrons? Neutrons is uncharged. Ibig sabihin siya yung nag-neutralize. So, pinaneutralize niya yung lahat ng positive doon. Kaya, intact pa rin doon sa loob ang ating protons. Kasi may kasama siyang neutron. So, sabi nga doon, every protons equivalent lagi ng 2 neutrons. So, therefore, nahu-hold niya. Ibig sabihin, kung maraming protons doon, kung may dalawang protons doon, basically, nagkaroon agad yun ng 4 na neutrons. So, in-neutralize siya ngayon to para hindi maghiwa-hiwalay, although they are the same charges. Okay, kaya hindi siya umaalis doon sa atomic model natin. Nasa loob pa rin si protons and neutrons. They are compact with each other. Okay? Na-neutralize, although it's all positive. Next. Okay. Ito yung atom natin na sinasabi. Ayan. Then, yung labas daw nito yung orbit, andun yung electrons. Doon sila gumagala. Ayan, basically, ayan. So, kung napapansin natin, yung nucleus, ayan, made of neutrons, which is the white part or the white circle. And we have here the protons. Okay, the tiny compared with the rest of the atom, the nucleus contains over 99.9% of the atom's mass. So basically, yung nucleus pala, ayan yung may pinakamalaking part or mass ng ating nucleus. Okay, nasa loob siya. Pinakamaliit na napapansin natin. And most of the atom's volume is occupied sparsely by electrons. And ito, buong atom kasi yan. Ayan, yung pinakagitna, andun yung nucleus kung saan nandun si neutrons and protons. Then sa labas niyan, or the orbital part, tas nandyan yung mga electrons. Okay, so then sila gumagala. Okay? So, ba't hindi rin sila umaalis yung mga electrons? Kasi nga, ano, meron tayo ditong positive charge. So, hindi sila umalis dyan. Okay? So, may level pa rin or may point pa rin na na-attract pa rin sila. Although neutralized to para hindi sila maghiwalay. So, ibig sabihin may positive silang nasasagap. Okay? Sa mga electrons. Kaya hindi rin sila umaalis. Okay? So, we have here the mass of, ayan, given na yung mass dito ng ating positive charge. 1.67 3 times 10 raised to negative 27 kilogram. So, ganun ka, ano, no? Negative yan, 27. Masyadong napakagaan yan. Parang hindi na natin ramdam yan. Parang ano natin, na nahawakan natin. Parang wala lang, no? Ganun kagaan na yan. No? Negative 27. Ibig sabihin 27 na zero, idadagdag natin dito. So, tapos naka-kilogram pa. Then, the neutron, meron, no charge yan. So, we have a mass of 1.675 times 10 raised to negative 27 kilogram. And the mass for our electron, which is the negative charge, is 9.109 times 10 raised to negative 31. So, mas magaan. Okay? Mas magaan. Sino mas magaan? No, mas magaan to si electron compared to the protons and neutrons. Bakit? Mas maraming zero pang idadagdag natin dito o negative 31 yan. Okay? So, the charges of the electron and protons are equal in the magnitude. So, yung charges nila, equal. Although yung mass nila is different. Okay, the negatively charged electrons are held within the atom by the attractive electric forces exerted on them by the positively charged nucleus. The protons and neutrons are held with the stable atomic nuclei by an attractive interaction called the strong nuclear force. Ayan. At the same time, kaya hindi sila naghihiwalay kasi nga meron dyan tinatawag na strong nuclear force. Kaya that keeps them compact together. Okay? So that overcomes the electric repulsion of the protons. Okay? So the strong nuclear force is short range and its effects does not extend far beyond the nucleus. And the masses of the individual particles to the precision that they are presently known. So ito na yung sinabi natin kanina, yung mga different mass nila. So a neutral atom has a many electron as it does protons. So ibig sabihin ang neutral daw na atom ay mas maraming electrons compared to protons. A positive ion has a deficit of electrons. So, may ibig sabihin yung mga positive ions, okay? Deficit, ibig sabihin there's a lack or unti lang yung presence ng ating electrons. A negative ion has an excess of electrons. So, pag negative ions naman daw, marami naman daw yung electrons. Okay? Excess. And the electron shells are a schematic representation of the actual electron distribution, a diffuse cloud many times larger than the nucleus. So parang ito nagkakaroon tayo dito ng na schematic representation ng ating electron distribution kung saan nagkakaroon ng clouds. O parang clouds 'to, 'di ba? So ito tayo nag-represent ng ng shell. Okay, ng shell ng ating mga particles. Then, proceed tayo. Electric charge is conserved. So, paano naman ako-conserve yung electric charge? So, implicit in the foregoing discussion are two very important principles. First is the principle of conservation of charge. So, nako-conserve pala yung charge, sir. Paano nako-conserve yung ating charge? So, paano nagkakaroon ng ganyang conservation? So, according to this principle, the algebraic sum of all electric charges
in any closed system is constant. That's why it's conserved. Bakit? So, lahat daw ng electric charge, okay, sa isang closed system is constant. So, ibig sabihin kung ano yung electric charge nun, ganun at ganun pa rin siya. Okay? Hindi siya, hindi siya nagbabago. So, it is another important concept of electrostatic, no? Na magkaroon ng conservation of charge. So, the first principle, so it states that the total charge nga once in an isolation or in a closed system, it should be a constant. So, yun yung principle niya, stated niya. Okay. Uh, if we rub together a plastic rod and a piece of fur, both initially uncharged, the rod acquires negative charge. Since it takes electron from the fur acquires a positive charge of the same magnitude. Since has lost as many electrons as the rod has gained, hence the total electric charge on the total bodies together does not change. In any charging process, charge is not created or destroyed. It is merely transferred from one body to another. Ibig sabihin kung gaano daw karami yung charge meron doon sa ating plastic rod, the same din yung ma-acquire ng ating piece of fur. So balance lang. Okay, nababalance. At the same time, hindi daw siya nakikreate. At the same time, hindi na-destroyed. Nata-transfer lang from one body to another. So nalilipat lang. Hindi siya nawawala. Hindi siya nauubos. Hindi rin siya napapalitan. Nawawala lang. Okay, na-transfer or na-transfer lang pala, hindi siya nawala. Na-transfer from one body to another. So na-conserve ang tinatawag nating charge. Okay? Should be balanced. So conservation of charge is thought to be a universal conservation law. Then no experimental evidence for any violation of this principle have ever been observed. So wala daw nalabag, no? Walang mga experimental evidence na nagkaroon ng violation para ma-violate pang ating principle na to. So na-conserve lang siya. So any charging process is nearly talaga yung nag-transferred lang into one body to another. Okay, electric charge is conserved. Another. Anong pangalawang principle na sinasabi natin? So the second important principle is the magnitude of charge of the electron or proton is a natural unit of charge. So ano naman ibig sabihin nito? Yung magnitude ng ng electrons or protons natin is natural unit of charge. So natural lang na unit nila. So, hindi siya nagbabago. Okay? So, every observable amount of electric charge is always an integer multiple of this basic unit. We say that charge is quantized. Okay? A familiar example of quantization is money. So, when you pay cash for an item in a store, you have to do it 1 cent increments. Okay? Cash cannot be divided into amounts smaller than 1 cent, and the electric charge can be divided into amounts smaller than the charge of one electron or proton. So, kung for example daw, familiar naman natin sa quantization ng isang pera, no? So, pag nagbayad tayo ng isang item sa ating binili sa tindahan. So basically, anong gagawin natin? So for example, may cents yun. So hindi naman natin pwede din kunin yung mga cents na yun, no? Yung masyadong mababa na. So, hindi naman pwede natin i-divide yung cash. For example, no? Kung yung pera mo is 100, hindi naman pwede nating yun, i-divide, no? Para mabayaran natin kung magkano lang yung price na yon. So hindi natin kayang gawin yon in the smaller 1 cent. Okay? And the electric charge can't be also be divided into amounts smaller than the charge of one electron or proton. So ibig sabihin yung kada as the same kung ikukumpara natin, no, sa ating electric charge, hindi rin siya pwedeng i-divide, okay, into smaller amounts than the charge of one electron or protons. So basically yun yung pinaka-charge. Hindi na siya mababago. Okay? Kaya nga 'di ba sa tindahan pag bumibili tayo minsan pinapalit na lang sa atin kahit may sukli pa tayong 50 cents or 75 cents. 'Di ba minsan kinakalimutan na lang, okay na lang 'yon, wala na lang. O kaya dati candy, may mga gano'ng pinapalitan. So hindi na natin kasi makukuha 'yon. Okay? Hindi natin kasi kayang i-divide na 'yon. Okay? So that is the principle of our
ano, the charge is conserved, no? Thus, the charge on any macroscopic body is always zero or an integer multiple, negative or positive, of the electron charge. Yan. So that's all for our lesson for today. So I hope you understood. Okay, merong at least naging clear sa inyo, no? Kahit naman siguro kaya naman itong self-explanatory, no? So sana may naintindihan kayo at meron kayong natutunan for this module. And thank you for listening and see you on our next lesson.